Olosho Girls at night, church girl in the morning. Three village girls, Lola, Tayo and Toby came to Lagos with innocent dreams and empty pockets. By the day, they were church sisters with holy smile. By night, they were hookup girls. Lola, Tayo and Toby waited for this moment their entire life. Best friends since childhood, their parents knew each other and they all three had been admitted to the Lagos State University. The city was alive, bright, loud, traffic and endless possibilities. They arrived with excitement, dragging their suitcase through the busy streets, feeling both overwhelmed and thrilled. Their parents sent money, but it was barely enough for rent, food and school fees. Lagos was expensive and they quickly realized city life wasn't like the village life. One of the first nights, while walking past a new street, someone whispered to them about a club, a place where rich men could be met. Men would men who would dex you money. If you knew how to approach them, Lola eyes sparkled. Girls, maybe it is our chance to survive in style, she said, nudging the others. Toby hesitated but laughed nervously. Tayo, daring grinned. If we play smart, we won't just survive, we will thrive. The girls spent the next days adjusting to university life, navigating lectures, buses, and Lagos crowd. They discovered cheap eats, crowded hotels, and trees of independence, but the law of fast money and first men already begin to whisper in their ears. By the end of the first week, the city has started to change gems. Dreams of becoming serious students suddenly disappears. Lola, Tayo and Toby had quickly realized that city life demanded more than tuition and rent. It demanded style, designer bags, flashy shoe, nights that sparkled. They wanted it all. That's when they remembered the club someone had whispered about, a place where rich man could be found and pockets and could be fattened. Their first night inside was electric. The music pulsed through their veins, strobes light and flashed like fire, and many creeps drifted to drinks in the hand. Lola nudged them. Girls, this is it. Let's deck some money. It started simple. Flirty laughs, playful dances, compliments that turned into drinks. But soon they discovered the real trick, Opwine. Each girl learned to charm men, make them feel special, and turn that charm into cash, gift, and favor. Toby laughed with a businessman named Kunle. His wallet fat and generous. Tayo held Alhaji attention for hours, collecting gifts and promises. Lola, she moved between two men effortlessly, earning money than she could count in a single night. By the end of the week, they had mastered the rhyme, club at night, lesson and lecture by day. Their pockets were heavier and their confidence unstoppable. Every man they charmed added fuel to their knife, and new laughter echoed in the city like a challenge. Lagos, they were yet to conquer as they walked into the humid night, counting cash and comparing gifts. Lola smirked. Tomorrow morning, church, let us see what is waiting for us. Church in Lagos was bright, but the girls were never there for sermon. Lola, Tayo and Toby woke up early, dressed to impress, headed to church. Not for God, but for opportunity. Rich men in suits, flashy car, and quiet wells filled the pew, and the girls had learned to spot them instantly. They laughed and whispered prayers with practiced innocence. The pastor's voice dropped on the purpose and faith, but the girls' eyes were on the men. Toby leaned towards Lola. That one on the third row, thick wallet, every wristwatch, she whispered. Lola grinned. Easy target. We will employ him before he finishes the sermon. After weeks, they perfected their routine. Morning church, flirtation in the courtyard, sweet smiles during fellowship. They learned names, interest, and schedule. Each handshake, each God bless you became a calculated move in their game. One after Sunday, Tayo spotted a married man, rich and influential, with a mischievous glance at her friend. She whispered, Cayamata works wonder. By the end of the service, he was under her spell, texting her from his office, unaware that his marriage was now at risk. Lola and Toby were as successful, wealthy bachelors, business owners, even the pastor's own acquaintances. None of them could resist their charm. The girls' pockets were filling fast, but so was their reputation. Whispers began to circle. Clever girls, dangerous girls, unstoppable. By the end of each morning, as they walked out together, they shared grins and plans. Church was no longer about faith. It was about a playground, a place to catch husband and pocket money. By now, Lola and Toby had become experts. Church morning and club nights had owned their skills, and the city seemed to be their command. But they didn't stop at the charm. They discovered Cayamata, a secret method to attract and snatch men. Even those already married, it started well. Tayo noticed a man, well-dressed and attentive, whose wife had ignored him for weeks. A small smile, a shared laugh, and Kayamata did its work. With this, the man was calling her non-stop, forgetting his obligation at home. Lola and Toby tried it too, easy, each adding to their own touch. Every encounter was calculated, dance, light touches, laughter, and lingered in the men's mind. Gift follows, phone, watches, and even cash slip into their hands without question. They laugh at how it was easy to get this man, even though they know when it hits. Lola whispered that they counted money at Toby's apartment. Tayo grinned. Kayamata is magic. We could rule this city if we wanted. Church had become their hunting ground. No sermon mattered, no prayer moved them. They were there for wealth, influence, and thrill of power. Every rich man they loved was a trophy. Every husband they snatched, a story shared in laughter. Even the women in the church started noticing. Gossip spread quietly at first. Those dangerous girls, someone whispered, but the trio didn't care. Their pockets were fat after nights exciting, and their money was fruitful. Lola, Tayo, and Toby had been unstoppable men at church, men at clubs, their pockets and phones overload. But whispers began to grow louder. Women noticed missing husband, men behaving strangely, and soon the name of the trio spread like backfire. Those girls are trouble, one church member murmured. Stay away from them. At first, the girls laughed. Let them talk, Lola said, flipped her hair. The more jealous, the more curious the men become. But it wasn't long before the pastor noticed. During church service, he paused mid-sermon, his eyes scanning this congregation. He added stories, the men distracted, the family affected, and the woman upset. His patience ascended. After the service, he called them aside. Girls, your actions are not of God. You are manipulating men, destroying homes, and bringing shame to the church. You cannot return until you change your words. Tayo laughed nervously. Pastor, we are just making friends, she said. Friends. The pastor's voice thundered. No, you are deceiving. You are using Kayamata to lure men from their wife. This must stop today. Lola and Toby exchanged uneasy glances. The laughter drained from their face. They had underestimated the consequences of their game. By evening, the word had reached the entire congregation. The girls were officially expelled, forced to leave the church. They treated as the playground. Gossip followed them into the streets, but for Lola, Tayo, and Toby, the outside world still shimmered with opportunity. They will find another way, Lola whispered determination. Returning to her heights, the city doesn't care about rules, and just like that, their empire moved from pews to the streets, faster and bolder than ever. With the church doors closed to them, Lola, Tayo, and Toby returned to the streets fully. Clubs, lungs, and expensive hotels became their playground. Night after night, they employed wealthy men, moved with confidence and style that made Lagos notice them. Lola had discovered a man who owned multiple nightclubs. Tayo found a businessman with fleets of cars, and Toby, cautious at first, learned quickly to spot the ones who could deck her money. Gifts, cash, and promises flowed freely. They rented a small but stylish apartment near Victoria Island. Designer bags lined their closets, new shoes filled with shelves, and every night brought a new adventure. They laughed, danced, and flaunted their power, and thrill of opposing men was addictive. But the city demanded more. Parties grew riskier, men more aggressive, and the nights longer. One evening, Lola whispered to Toby as they counted stacks of naira. We are living like queens. Nobody can stop us. Tayo smirked. Not yet. The city has more for us. Bigger fish, bigger gifts, bigger thrill. As we strutted out of the hotel lobby that night, paparazzi-style flashes from luxurious party reflected in their eyes. They were untouchable, so they believed. But the city had shadows. Every rich man they charmed, every hotel they visited carried danger they couldn't see. And why their pockets and closets overflowed, sometimes in the back of Toby's mind, whispered a caution, a feeling she couldn't shake. From now, the nights were alive and the city was theirs. Lola, Toby, and Tayo had settled into their rooms, club at night, opposing men, and morning spent pretending to be students. The money was good, the parties was endless, but the cracks were starting to show. It began subtly. A man lingered too long at a hotel, asking questions about who they were and where they lived. Another became jealous when Lola danced with someone else. Texts from unknown numbers warned Tayo to be careful. Toby felt it first. She noticed a black SUV that seemed to follow them after a night out. A hand brushed against hers in a way it wasn't playful. Her stomach twisted, but she kept quiet, afraid to break the rhythm. Lola laughed off the warning signs. Relax, Toby, the city is ours. We know the game, she said, flipping her hair. Tayo nodded, blushing uneasy. Nothing can touch us, but danger has a way of creeping up on the reckless. One evening, after the night of opposing three different men, they left the club, laugh, arms full of gifts, and wallets fat. The streets were dark, and the SUV that seemed harmless before now looked menacing. A voice from the shadow called out, "Ladies, waiting for you." The girl froze, their laughter flattened. Toby had pounded. Something was wrong. As they approached the vehicle, a cold realization hit Toby. The fun, the money, the glamour, it has blinded them. The city they owned was already claiming them inch by inch. They knew in their mind that something was wrong, but they still continued doing their hookup anyways. Lola, Tayo, and Toby stepped into a high-rise hotel. Three wealthy Alaji waited for them in the VIP. Suits, huge, eager, and unaware of the coming. Their pockets promised cash, gifts, and influence. They were targets, but the girl only saw opportunity. "Tonight we will feast," Lola whispered, her lipstick fresh, her heels clicking confidently. Tayo grinned. "Let's upwear them properly. This one will pay us for a month of shopping." The suit was lavish, gold accents, leather sofas, and mini bags that looked like treasure. The girls charmed the Alaji, laughter spilling over the clean glasses. Drinks were poured, jokes exchanged, and slowly the men relaxed, blind to the calculated eyes that watched them. Toby, ever observant, noticed shadow moving outside the suit's closed door. A creeping unease crawled her spine, but she swallowed it. "It is nothing," she told herself, forcing a smile. Lola leaned over one Alaji, Tayo another, while Toby attended the third. They were in their element, and the thrill of opening rich men intoxicating. But then, without the warning, the door burst. That figure rushed in, swift and silent. Hands grabbed Lola and Tayo. Before they could scream, Toby tried to fight, tried to put them free, but she was overpowered. A sharp strike to her head, and her vision blurred. She felt herself being dragged back, but somehow, by a twist of fate and mercy, she slipped away from their grip and stumbled into the hallway. They watched in horror as Lola Tayo disappeared into the shadow, with them being taken away by the men. Her scream muffled. Toby heart pounded, adrenaline and terror mixing in frozen panic. The hotel, once a playground of veils and power, had become a trap that night, and the price of upweighing of every charm, of every scheme, could be paid off in fear. Tobu stumbled back to her apartment, shaking, bruised, and breathless. Lola and Tayo were gone, taken during their last upweighing night with the three Alaji. For the first time, the weight of their choices crashes down on her. She sat alone, the city light glaring through the window, and whispered to herself, "Why did I let greed guide me? Why did I leave my dreams behind?" Her thought drifted back to the village, the small home she left, the book she cherished, the dream of becoming a lawyer. All those plans seemed like another life. Now, drowned in the reckless nights and empty promises, news reached the village quickly. Their parents received the news with trembling hands. Tears fell freely as they shared the story with neighbors. "Our girls, our children," one woman sobbed, clutching her head. Friends and villagers gathered, their eyes red and heavy with pity. Everyone felt the stink of what could have been. They remembered the nights, the bright, ambitious girls who had laughed and dreamed, now caught in trap they never imagined. The villagers shook their head, murmuring prayers and warning for the future. Toby could do nothing but in silence, replaying the night over and over. Every opinion, every laugh at the club, every rich man, and every trick flashed before her eyes. "I should have studied. I should have focused on law," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "Maybe I could have helped my family. Maybe I could have been proud instead of this." The city, once a playground, had turned into a harsh teacher. Toby had survived, but the cost was the lives of her best friend. She had learned a lesson that no money, no charm, and no opponent could ever buy happiness and success in life.